this is Dandelion with Records of the Grand Historian. Welcome back. I have tried a few times to make this video, and I usually make it too long, carry on, so I'm going to try to do this in short chunks. And so we're going to just talk about this owl, this eye, and this other eye over here in the Washington Monument. So I just wanted to show you, without carrying on for too long, some of the details about this owl. One of them is that owl in raw gematria, 15 plus 12 is 27, which reduces to a 9, and the W is a 23. This owl also has a 33-degree angle on this compass right here, and these legs of the compass have different lengths. And they were a little interesting. I'm not sure if they're worth really mentioning. But another thing I want to mention is Isis in Washington, D.C. Her left hand goes to the right leg of the owl, right over her throne, and directly through the Freedom Plaza. So that is interesting. I need to learn more about these owls, but in short, just on owls, I was kind of staying away from owls because I was, concerned with the dark imagery that the Team Dark has been putting around owls with Bohemian Grove and, human sacrifice. And I was unsure about what the symbolism was with Inanna, Ishtar, about the owls that are around her, and I am not sure if it is distortion or misrepresentation that she was involved in human sacrifice. I think we need to just really question anything that we read and just kind of think, well, maybe that, let's just keep looking. But one thing I do want to say about owls is one thing I have been concerned about owls recently is that for a while I thought that even though Inanna Ishtar may or may not have been involved in human sacrifice having to do with owls in the past, I do believe that Team Dark is involved with human sacrifice having to do with owls, and they do seem to think that if you are carrying an owl on you or have an owl near you, that they can dedicate your death to their sacrifice needs and possibly entrap your soul. This is just, I think, having something to do with their belief. Looking at all the signs and symbols that I see around me, they are marketing a lot of owl imagery to children. Keychains. This is not when we have images that just flood the market. It is not a free market flood. When we the skull and bones, that's they want you to think that that's really cool to be a pirate, but it's actually Freemason imagery, and I think that you need to be aware of what you're agreeing to when you wear those things, especially if you wear them on a hat or a shirt where they're going over your heart chakra or any of your energy centers of your body that are not intended to be associated with symbolism. And we do not know, maybe they have actually achieved some kind of dedication using this symbolism. I'm sure these guys have a lot of time to think up dark things. So I wouldn't put any owls on your children, yourself. I would just kind of stay away from owl imagery. Not saying that the owl itself is bad or was bad in the ancient Anunnaki, just that Team Dark is doing something wrong with owls now. And I don't know exactly what it is, but I don't want to have any part of it. So, having said that, also, my other clue about that was that before Electric Money came out, what I had noticed is that this owl surge happened around the time that we are becoming more and more of a cashless society, and less people have a dollar bill on them. If you have a dollar bill on you, you are carrying an owl with you. And so I had noticed that it is possible that all this owl marketing is really just to keep an owl on everyone, since very few people have cash anymore. And that made me concerned about the motivation of the symbolism. Okay, so that's my conversation about that. I wanted to show you the dimensions of this, and I think I took it from here. to here. Yeah, 106. And that has to do with the Philadelphia train wreck. It has to do with 61, which is the church gematria, and a lot of religion gematria adds up to 61. So this 106 is kind of concerning. I do want to remember this. I'd like to pull it. I'd like to analyze this more and see and look at some more of the alignments, maybe to Philadelphia. I think the Philadelphia train wreck might have some interesting alignments too. I'm not sure exactly what we're going to learn, but I feel like something is brewing, and I'd love to be able to pinpoint it. I think I have quite a few ideas on exactly, some of the bigger themes of drama that are planned for September. I don't know if I'm ready to come out and say them yet. But, okay, so this is a 179 going, I believe that would be south, yes. And let me just check the other way. And that is a 360. Okay, so that's a 180 and a 360. So that has to do with pi. So what I would like to do then is, when you notice something like that, what you need to do is draw a circle over these. I don't know how to use my Google Plus to draw a circle. There, I'll figure it out, but I won't do it right now. But what I wanted to show you was talk about the owl, some of the owl symbolism, and also I wanted to show you this eye. Honey, I'm recording. So I just wanted to show you this eye because Casey with Enter the Stars is working on the eye cosmology. This is the eye in the dome, and Casey has also pointed out that our secret government, Team Dark, likes to put themselves in the position of the creator. They like to pretend like they are God, and we see that again and again, and I've been talking about that with the Anunnaki readings that I've been sharing with you about how the Anunnaki want, the dark fallen ones, they pass themselves off as gods just because they're long-lived. Well, we aren't gods, and we live a lot longer than fruit flies. And you don't see humans preaching to the fruit flies about that we are gods. They might kill the fruit flies, which is, I guess, your own responsibility for you to decide whether you should do that or not. But that's what they did with us. And so here we have the eye, and we have the Capitol building pretending it's behind the eye. So it's back here near the cross of the eye, and I would like to actually see if there is a cross back here. There is the what is this? The RF, is this RFK? Let me erase this. This is here. Come on, tell me what it is. Yes, the RFK Memorial Stadium. And this is Lincoln Park. Okay, so we have two Lincoln things on either side of these two eyes, and I want to make a short video, but now I'm curious and I want to know this distance. It looks like it's a 103. And it's 90-degree heading. Very interesting, right? Yeah, so 90-degree on the other side of the 269, or the 266 going, is it? No, now I can't remember. Let's go the other way. Yeah, 266. I did it wrong right there, but I remember it was 266. So let's get back to this eye. We have the Capitol building behind the eye, so they are in the position of pretending to be God behind the eye. Now the 33rd degree, really quick, that's the first degree of thawing. 32 is frozen. 33 is unfrozen, and that's a reference to being alive or being dead or being a zombie or being a free person. That's what that reference is, and I think that is deeply symbolic, and I'm not sure what all the precise information there is to get out of that symbolism about frozen and unfrozen. So I do notice that people seem to be frozen in a zombie state, and maybe that's what they're talking about. So here we have the eye, and we have the lens, and it shows you the vision. They're saying the Capitol building sees with the vision of a 33rd degree Mason, and we have the cornea. And we have, this is water, I believe. And so what this shows is that, to me, this shows a little map of the cosmology of the eye. If you take, as Casey in Under the Stars talks about, if you take out the cosmology of our world, taking the clues from the Egyptians that our world is a lens-shaped earth in a dome, then we have this lens-shaped earth right here, and here is the dome. And so in that symbolism, this Capitol building would be controlling the way that the eye sees. So do you see how that symbolism is working? We have a 3 and a 4 here. That's a 7, and I think I measured this before. I think this is an 11 from these, but I don't remember. Oh, yep, it's an 11. So you have your 7-11 symbolism. I could talk a lot about 7-11. That's a really interesting topic. Okay, but we have the water here, and a lot of people wonder with a lens-shaped eye why the oceans would stay around the Earth, and this kind of gives you a little idea of this, as if this was the inner, like an inner cornea, and this outside edge would be the Antarctic edge. That's how the oceans are held on the lens-shaped eye. So I'm not totally married to any of these theories. It's just that I am pretty sure that what we are being told is not true. I have done a lot of my own experiments, shadow experiments, distances to the moon experiments. I've checked a lot of NASA photos. I've found every NASA photo I have checked for hoaxery. I have found and documented hoaxery on them. So what I can say for sure is we are not being told the truth, and we do not know what is going on. So what we can do is look in plain sight, which is the Egyptian clues of the scarab beetle and some of these other things like the pharaoh hieroglyphs and some of this other symbolism that we see, and then we can start to put these clues together and try to figure out for ourselves what is going on. So this is the one eye, and this eye is looking towards the Washington Monument. This is a sign of Venus right here. The 00 is a sign of Venus, and it's on the quick aside. It's on some of the first money that was printed, and it's in a lot of it's a lot. You see these 00s a lot of places. It's the morning and the evening star. Okay, so this eye is looking down here, and let's get a distance here from this lens of this eye, and you'll notice that this inner circle, there's an optical illusion. It does not appear to be round, and it might be because I'm not over the monument, but it is. I measured it, and it's pretty round, except for this extra part right here, which is telling you that this is an eye. And not only that, but it has the chalice symbolism. It's kind of a three-dimensional composite of the chalice. So I'm not sure if I point this out if you'll be able to see it, but the Washington Monument is the stem of the chalice. This eye is the upward dome of the chalice, and this part would be the lower dome of the chalice. And this is in the back of the eye. So this is in the place where the Capitol building is on the other eye. It's in the back of the retina. But the symbolism here of the chalice is that our eye cosmology, our world, was actually seeded with Orion DNA. That's what I think the take-home symbolism here is. Now, Wayne Herschel has done work, and I have some pictures on my blog of his work with the Washington Monument looking east. When Orion is rising on the horizon. Horizon itself is a very strange word. It has pi in the beginning with the H. It has a 0 written backwards in the middle, and for the circle that is talking about pi, and it has a 1 at the end of the word. O-N is code for 1, so it's actually H-I, which is Greek for pi. The H is a P in Greek, and the I is the 1 is the I. So they are talking about pi when they talk about the horizon, which is another sign that horizon is not a word of a spherical object. Okay, well anyway. So anyway, Wayne Herschel has done some work about watching Orion rise here on the horizon, and that the Star of Ra and the Trinity of Suns appears right above this on especially, and there's different alignments on different days. December 25th has a specific alignment. September 15th has a specific alignment, but basically the Phallus symbolism is that Orion is at an angle and it kind of rises up to meet the downward triangle shape of the Trinity of Suns. So if you would like to learn more about that, his website is Hidden Records, and he does a lot of great work, and I wish I could keep up with what he's doing every day, because he also has great graphics, and I wish I could do graphics like him. Hi Wayne. I know he'll never listen to my videos, but he might someday. He does great work. Okay, so wanted to say that. Here we are with this eye that's looking the other way towards the owl. So this eye is looking in the, now I already forgot the heading, because I get kind of nervous when I do these videos because I'm trying to not blabber for so long. I'm already at 16 minutes. Here we go. Let's just take a little test here. Yeah, it's 90. Yeah, that's yeah, I knew that. Okay. Huh. You know, I really don't remember if I've drawn this heading out past our coast. I will do that here in my free time. So I showed you the chalice. I showed you this eye. Now let's take a few measurements of the eye, because in Astana, and I know I have a viewer who mentioned Astana, and I do want to go back there and do some time-lapse drawings. I think it's a really good idea. Astana really, really has a key to our world cosmology. You know, there is a lot of symbolism there that is not in our textbooks and makes a lot more sense than what they're teaching us. And also the map work. Oh, I set the ruler in the wrong place. The map work is similar to the ancients. You know, many ancient maps agree with this, and those guys had spaceships, so I don't think we can just disagree with their maps. Okay, so this is an 11 in the 90 degrees. So this is a 9/11, you guys, because it's the 90-degree heading, and it's a point 11. And so this is about sight. It's about, the 11 is an incomplete number. It's a gateway number. Here we have obviously a gateway, because the specific Pisces is the symbolic shape of the wormhole when it opens. And I should have popped up a picture in my tab so that I could quickly show you that picture. And I need to get better. You know, before I turn on my recorder, I need to kind of get all my pictures lined up. I think I don't need them, and then I'm like, well, I should have done that. So that's a 9/11 right there. Let me just take a still. I'm gonna sip my. Sorry if this one. Excuse me while I make all kinds of microphone sounds. Maybe I'm not gonna take a still. I'm gonna come back later and take a still of that, because that's pretty cool. There we have the throne of Isis. That's her name. Let's measure this one. Let's go from the back of the eye. That's what we did on the other one, right? So the back of the eye is going to be this thing. Let's see. Let me just make sure I'm in the right place here. Seems like, yeah. To the cornea. Yeah. Okay. So this is 22. Wow, that is another interesting number. I'm not sure if I picked the precise, perfect measurement on that, but when that number like that jumps out at you, that is the number of the Hamite. It has to do with Buckingham Palace. Please read one of my posts that has to do with Buckingham Palace. That was an eye-opener when I discovered that about Buckingham Palace having to do with the Hamites. And I'm going to not go into that because I'm trying to keep my minutes down on this, but check into that. Very interesting. But this is the same measurement as the inner dome at Astana. And so what and this is also the same number that they use, the Team Dark uses this number to describe their slaves, which is all of us. And it's really the lowest of the lowest slaves. I think, maybe this has to do on their scale of 22 to 33, something like that. And the 22 is the lowest sentient, or something like that. There's not a, and it's also the lowest natural created lower dome of the dome-shaped Earth. It's hard to show you, it's hard to describe that without taking you to Asthana. And we will go there again. There's lots to see. Now, but this number 22, it's also the number of car, and this goes just really quick to show you this number to them, the lowest sentient being. It's actually a vehicle for them. They will ride along in a vehicle. Your body is a car for them, and that is the fractal symbolism. Whenever we have a concept on this Earth, it has fractal echoes in both directions, getting bigger and more expansive and getting smaller. So when we ride in our cars, our car is a vehicle, and we are basically a parasite of that vehicle. And the car is frozen, and it's a zombie car. It doesn't do anything without our direction. This is the same. Now, if you go to a fractal echo in the smaller direction from that, okay, so we are acting as the parasites inside the car. We are parasitized ourselves. Some of us more than others. And I am going to do, I would like to do a series of videos on your health, taking care of your health and your family's health. And parasites really have to do with dark energy. They really do. And they really do have control of your mind. They really can have either an influence or complete control, depending on how strong of an energy, how much your soul voltage is to maintain your freedom. They really can control your behavior. They can make you feel more promiscuous, reckless, depending on your degree of infection, up into the point of complete possession in which you don't have any control. And this does, one of the quick roots of, there's many parasites, many, many kinds. And the other thing about the parasites is they have hive mind, and they do operate in the fourth dimension. So they can orchestrate, and orchestrate is a word that actually has to do with worm. O-R is the worm root word. When they orchestrate something, they can orchestrate a group of humans that are all infected with parasites from the fourth dimension. And if you look around, you will see that this is true. And you will be, what I've been amazed when I realized this to this extent, after I deparasitize myself, because I want to do this series on how to improve your health, because my mind has become free of parasitic influence. And I was very fogged down before. And so I want to help you guys get free. So I want to do a whole series on your health, getting better, detoxifying, and clearing yourself of parasites. So you could, just as a very first thing, you could go to World Without Parasites or Cure Zone to get started on deparasitizing yourself. And to the extent that you are controlled by parasites, you will either forget to do that, procrastinate, feel lazy. You will later decide, oh, she's not right. Oh, she's crazy. If your parasites will try to lure you away from safety, lure you away from my channel. My parasites, before I got rid of them, tried to lure me away from safety in my life. Their job is to increase your suffering. So that's what the 22 is. It's a vehicle. So most humans on this earth are frozen. They are below the 33 level. They are frozen like a car. They are a static vehicle. And if you think about it, it's pretty amazing if you really have to hand it to the parasites that they have managed to take over this world without any opposable digits or legs. you know, it's only been their powerful fourth dimensional mental influence over people that has caused all of the problems that we have. This does go back to Lupercalia, which is on my Philae line, because okay, this is going to be a long video. I was going to set the timer for a 5-minute video. Maybe you'll hear the ticking in the background, so I decided not to. But this does go back to Lupercalia, because Lupercalia is the start of Rome at Palatine Hill on the Philae line that I have done work on. I've done some videos and blogs on this. And the idea of Lupercalia is that the twins, Ramus and Remus, who I believe were from Venus, and they came to Earth to be incorruptible. I believe that the triumph, I believe that the big celebration, the reason why Lupercalia is so big in Rome and it's so celebrated in the U.S. is that the Team Dark triumphed over the Venus teachers. They corrupted those twins. So the twins, I guess, were orphaned, found down there on the river. We're not sure what the story was with that, but they drank wolf milk. Well, we all know from our domestic animals that after your puppies wean, if you have puppies, that's when you worm them. So you will know from that if you didn't worm your puppies, they would have gotten worms either from being in utero, but even if you worm them and they're still nursing, they would get it from the milk. Well, dogs carry parasites, and they are they've kind of evolved with parasites. And you notice that dogs are very hierarchical. They are very command structured, especially the wilder dogs. And also, the more they are together, 2 dogs or 3 dogs, the worse their behavior becomes. You can take family pets and put 3 of them together, and they will go kill a goat. My mom has goats, so we know about what dogs do when they get together. We see this same problem in humans who are infected with dog parasites. So I believe that this is the huge celebration at Lupercalia. Team Dark figured out how to win and corrupt these uncorruptible Venus teachers who came from Venus. They had some Venus teachers, and they corrupted them with parasites to the point that these guys forgot who they were and tried to kill each other, and then they had a little death match, and then the winner, the most cruel of the two, the most infected and the most insane, started Rome. And Rome is still a world power today. Okay, another big long video. Oh well. But at some point I'm going to get most of this stuff said, and then I'll give you some more short videos. So we looked at this eye, we measured this. I think we're done with the 2 eyes story and the owls. We're not done talking about the owl. I wanted to do the wingspan and some of the symbolism here. And what I've been thinking about these 2 eyes, and you know, there's a lot to measure here. You know, all these distances are really important. That's a Lupercalia number, 89 or 98. When I laid Horus over on this construction here, Horus in Washington, D.C., this is either Horus Sr. or Horus Jr., and I'm really confused about all that. So, but it's Horus. Horus was bitten by a scorpion, and there's a scorpion right here on him. And so, see this with the pincers and the body right there, and it has a tail right here that's connected to this fish. Turn it this way. There's a fish here. This is a Pleiadian fish. Pleiadians are not bad. They just belong to a family that includes the fallen ones. They have 7 stars in their system. We cannot moralize this giant galactic situation. So that's Horus. But anyway, when you lay him over there, he fits perfectly here. This would be his belly button. You know, there's all kinds of numbers to measure in here. His arm, his most famous statue is the one that I laid over here, and he is holding his left arm up at the elbow, and it happens to perfectly overlay here to the point that he would be holding Isis's right hand, the way that the owl is holding her left hand. So I will do another video where I show you that overlay. So that there's just too much to get into, but I hope you liked what we talked about with the owl and the eyes. I think that's really important. And you know, I was kind of looking at these eyes to see if we have a globus cruciger, but one thing we have here with this eye is this is kind of like a globus cruciger that's exactly on the back with a short, you know, those globus crucigers, they have kind of a longer, for the lack of a better word, stem or something, because the crossing goes back a little ways. Well, this is a shorter one. So you could for sure see that this is an imposter, almost like an implant in the eye. So I don't see another globus cruciger on that eye at this point, unless you go all the way back to RFK, who was a visionary. So they might have some kind of a special symbolism for him. The Kennedys were insiders that betrayed the insiders. So we can't write all the insiders off. They are also being infiltrated by good guys. Good guys are being born into insider families. That's what it is. Okay, I'm down over here looking. Oh yeah, I was looking for a globus cruciger on the back of this. You know, I've had these red lines here for so long. I don't know if there's a line underneath this. I don't think there is. So I don't see a globus cruciger on the back of this eye. But we'll just stay open and see what we find. All right, thank you so much for coming back. Thank you so much for listening. I'm enjoying all the conversation. I'm enjoying the community. I hope you guys are enjoying the community. I hope we can all welcome in some new people as they come into our community. And if you gave me one of these really great clues and I forgot to mention it, please don't be offended, because my mind is filled with so many clues, and sometimes they're just like falling off the edge. But I really love all your clues, and I hope that I will be able to assimilate and remember them eventually. So we'll just keep going on that. All right, well, thank you so much for tuning in. Talk to you soon.